then we also talked about theory of planned behavior. I had asked you guys to make a graphic, right? Okay. So the IT glitch, and now the class is being recorded. So I'll come back to what we were doing. Perfect. Give me a moment. Okay. So I've taken your attendance. Okay. Let's begin our class. We've got 1 hour now because we have spent 15 minutes without being recorded. So can I hear a formal good morning? Good morning. Can be a little bit louder. Good morning. Okay. Now you guys have to be quick because we have to make up the lost 15 minutes. I would like you all to get quickly into your group. This is the revision exercise that I was talking about. Okay. I'm going to give you this piece of paper, 1, 2, 3, into your groups. We have 5 groups, 6 groups in this class, 6 or 5. And put down your laptops, like turn, yes. Can you sit in circle quickly? 1, 2, 3, we have less time. I'm giving you the sheet, those who do not have a piece of paper. Yes, thank you, Ken. Thank you very much. There. If you do not have a piece of paper, you can borrow from here. Okay. All right. Do not open your laptops and do not use any clues. It's a quick revision exercise for your upcoming quiz on Thursday. Let me see how prepared you are. Okay. I'm going to show you the terms that we have done in our last units. What you have to do is within 1 minute, less than a minute, let's say 30 seconds, write down the description, what it is. Each group, 1 answer. Okay, now you can see the way you are sitting. I cannot come and grab your paper, so you have to be responsible enough to give me your paper within 30 seconds. I'm going to read your responses. I will see how good is your response and I'm going to give you a score. Okay? Is everyone ready? This group, you have your paper. You need to come closer to be able to write your answers. Do you have a paper? Which is your group? 2 of you? Can you go there? Can you go there? Okay, while you're doing that, I would like to remind, did everybody take the practice test in Blackboard so that you know how your quiz would be? Do you have your paper? No? You should ask for it. Okay? Do you have your paper there? All right. Do you have the paper? 1, 2, 3. What is illusion of transparency? You are not going to look into your notes. What do you remember? 30 seconds. Your paper has to be in. I do not know which group. I'm going to call Nancy's group, Alice's group, Ken's group, Robert's group, and Catherine or Yen's group. 1, 2, 3, 4. Illusion of transparency. No notes. Be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see Ken struggling. Can I have your papers now? We don't have enough time. Stop. You should discuss with your team members. Robert, Fiona, thank you. Yes, please write your name on the paper. Here, Alice, Nancy's group. No, just 1 is enough. Okay? Quick. Oh my God, you don't have a pen here. So, this tells me you're not ready for the quiz. Okay. Illusion of transparency. Nancy's group. Misunderstanding the relationship between 2 variations. I like students being honest. So you guys need to study today and tomorrow. Nancy, I'm sorry. 0. The error that we think are concealed emotions can be read by others. I'm not sure which group is that. It looks like a good answer. So what group is this? Catherine's group. I'll give you 5. People can easily read your emotions that you are trying to conceal. I do not know which group is this. Okay, good enough. Robert's group 4. Ken, should I still consider your answer? Alice, the illusion that one's minds and thoughts can be read by others and it's shown outside. Almost. I will not trust your answer, right? Unless you change your answer. No problem. Thank you. I'm going to give back your papers. This time you have to be very, very quick. Please do not copy. Okay? This is just telling you how much more you need to study. Okay, please write your name. I do not know whose paper is it. We don't have enough time because we wasted. Can you pass these papers? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, guys, I am not going to read each answer. You keep going. Okay? Write your answers together. There are 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, go. Self-serving attributions. What do they mean? Self-serving attribution. Do not open your notes, just your answers. Self-serving attribution. I am watching over. Do not open your notes. Write whatever comes to your mind. Pen, can you turn yourself? Robert, pen can contribute something. Excellent. She has done homework. That's great. Good. I'm not going to take back your papers because it takes time. So keep writing. Yes, Ken. Great. All right. Second question. What is priming? Quick, guys. We don't have enough time. Priming. Priming. I'm going to take back your paper in a while. Priming. How do you describe priming in social psychology? Priming. Yes. Priming. Robert is thinking. Nancy knows the answer. Robert, priming. Ken, you had asked this question? Yes? Priming. Quick, 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 quick. Okay. Stop. Next question. Heuristics. Everybody, what is heuristic? I am not asking how many types of heuristics. I'm asking what is heuristics. Did you remember? We did one activity. I showed you a girl and I asked you where does she come from? Yes? Now you remember? Heuristics. Yes, Robert. Great. Heuristics. Do not forget to write your names on your paper so that I know which group did well. Heuristics. There are 2 types of heuristics. I am not asking what are those types. What are heuristics? Alright, cognitive dissonance theory, please skip because remember we went in lockdown and we could not finish, so don't feel bad about it. And I am going to flash the answers. Rate yourself rather than me rating you here. Okay? Is everyone ready? Illusion of transparency. Nancy, what happened to your group? emotions would leak out. You don't have to take picture. This is in your slides, okay? Self-serving attribution. Look at your answers, rate yourself, and decide how many hours do you need to study for your quiz on Thursday, okay? All right? Priming. I hope, Ken, your group got it right because Ken had a long discussion with me on priming and embodied cognition. Heuristics, the shortcuts that we have in our minds to make judgment about things. That's heuristic. Cognitive dissonance, we have not done it. We will do when we have our replacement class. Reflect on your answers and your discussion. If you think you knew, these were just random questions. You're going to have 40 questions. So you will know how much more you need to study. All right. Today, whatever time we have left, we'll talk about persuasion. Persuasion is not coming in the quiz on Thursday. Okay? This is for your final quiz. This unit will be for your final quiz. Now, take a moment and go back to our discussion last week. We were talking about, remember, we were talking about atrocities. Remember Milgram experiment? Why do people follow orders? Not for good things, but also for horrendous things, cruel things. They take orders. We were looking at the pictures of war, how people would put fire, right, to others' houses. They will explode, they will bomb people, right? Soldiers, we were talking about soldiers. So we were looking at the war crimes, atrocities, and somewhere we discussed that human beings are vulnerable. We take orders. If people ask us to do anything bad, we will still take orders. Remember in Milgram experiment, adults kept on giving shocks, right? And why were they doing that? Because we were talking about conformity. We conform. Mass hysteria, you remember how people would conform to large social groups. But there was one thing we were talking about, that it is not always conformity. Somebody, Amy, where is Amy? Yeah, Amy had come to me and Amy said, after class she had come to me and she said, Professor, people conform because sometimes they are scared to say no. But there are also other reasons that we discussed in last class. Can somebody fill in here? That it is not always conformity. You don't always conform someone, but you also get dash, 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 dash. What is that word? Do you remember? If not the exact word, do you have an idea? What was that word? That it may not be conformity, but there is some other phenomena that explains why do we do atrocities or really bad things to other people. And the best example is the war criminal, like we were discussing about the Ukraine war, how they are killing children and women. What happens to people? Are soldiers in Russia taking orders from Putin? Or is there something more to it? Incompetent. Yes, thank you for contributing. We were talking about who conforms. What are the characteristics of people who conform? Yes, people who are incompetent, they conform, but we had ended our unit on a discussion that there is much more to conformity. It's okay, I'm glad that you're all thinking. We use the word indoctrination. Indoctrinated. If somebody can tell me the Chinese equivalent of that word, that you become conditioned for some goals in your life, and then you would do anything. Can anyone translate that? How you? It's a conditioning. It's one sort of conditioning. Indoctrination, right? And while Nancy, what's the Chinese equivalent?
教化教导
indoctrinated. You would do anything that's asked, right? So we were talking about what leads to, what happens that we become indoctrinated. We were talking about, remember we briefly discussed about persuasion. You are persuaded. You are forced sometimes to believe in certain things. And those things sometimes can be right and they sometimes can be wrong. So today's unit, we'll talk about what is persuasion. We'll talk about persuasions and routes that people use to persuade people and elements of persuasion. Okay, I'm going to show you a very interesting video and I'm sure you're all going to like it. Okay, you can't see my screen, I know, because I'm out of my presentation mode, but I'll bring you back quickly. Now, watch this video and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this video because this is one of your favorite advertisements.
好，你吃习惯了，用奥利奥来吃啊。哎呦，炒菜卷。
I can see smile on your faces. You like it.
吃着吃更好玩哦。
再来些节奏。
奥利奥。
伸伸扭一扭。
哎呦，爽。
舔一舔，抱一抱。不是先生，只是你漂亮。
没关系，看我的，扭一扭，有甜线给你。
舔一舔，泡一泡。哇，还有吗？
Okay, so how many of you would like to go and buy Oreo after this class is over? Did you feel like eating Oreo right now? Yeah? Those who don't like it maybe no. Yes? But yes. So I was looking on the web that I could like something Chinese. So I came to know that the handsome boy was Jay Chou. Is he? Yeah? Is he a model? Singer. Okay. Now do you know what happened after this campaign? This campaign earned 20% more profit to Oreo. Just after Jay Chou advertised Oreo, the sales went up by 20%. It's amazing, right? So I want you guys now to help me answer these two questions. I can give you 30 seconds to discuss with your friends, perhaps then I can go by each group. I would like to discuss, how do you think Jay and Oreo are related? Is Jay one of the partners in Oreo China? We don't know. How are they related? And why was he asked to advertise? Does he look like Oreo? Why? Okay, you've got 30 seconds and I'm going to go one by one and I would like to hear your answers. Why do you think Jay was chosen? I know that most of you know the answers, but it would be good to hear a different perspective. 1, 2, 3, go. 30 seconds. was super excited. Esther is still sharing, and Gwen is smiling. Ken is smiling. So where do I start from? Ken? Okay, there, Catherine. Louder. Yes.
Yeah, I think because like Jay is very popular in the young students group, and Oreo is also for young people, so they relate.
They will relate,
Yeah.
and they will think Jay eats Oreo. Why not we go eat Oreos?
Yeah, it's all for young people.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, Ken.
It's
I mean, anybody in your group can answer.
a similar answer. It's the effect of the famous star in China. So after watching this video, we spontaneously connect the Oreo with J and think about this one I add more to. I also ate it. Why did not I eat it?
Okay. If Jay can eat Oreos, I can eat it too. Or I like Jay. Jay is eating Oreos, so I can connect. Any more answers? Okay, Nancy.
Because speaking of Oreo, you may think about its black biscuits and white immigrants, and they are similar to a piano. And we know that Jay is a very famous musician in China, and the most attracting thing on Jay is he can play piano really.
I did
Yes.
not know that.
Yes, so
Right.
maybe the advertise agency of Oreo will automatically think Jay would be the most appropriate person for Oreo. And also, Jay is also famous for his he is a sugar enthusiastic. Yes, he really like having bubble tea.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so and Oreo is also really sweet. Maybe they will connect them together.
Great. Okay. Yes.
Actually, I think the J and the Oreo is not related actually, because the J is a singer, but the Oreo is a food, But why they choose J to advertise this food? Because the J has the social influence of this J is very huge, and everyone, especially the young people, can follow him.
Yes. So whatever Jay does, you would like to do it. Thank you for your responses. I got to know different things about Jay as well, and how do you guys like. Just one thing I would like to bring to your attention. What were you feeling when you were watching that advertisement? Early in the morning. It's 9 o'clock in China. And you were watching that music and that handsome Jay and delicious Oreo. Did it trigger some kind of good emotions in you? Right? I'm feeling like having Oreos now. Okay? Now, thank you for your responses. They're very helpful, and you will be able to connect to this advertisement very soon in few minutes. So, this was one example of persuasion. People from communication in this class would have, maybe you've already studied persuasion, but for social psychology, it's one of the very interesting topics. Like a typical definition of persuasion would be a process by which a message induces change in beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. Now, being psychology major, try and understand the difference between these three words: belief, attitudes, and behaviors. Just before our class began, we were talking about attitudes and behaviors, right? People sometimes use them interchangeably, which is not. Anything that brings change in your belief, your attitudes, and your behavior. Now, some examples of persuasions are given here, but if you just think about your real life, you would see, oh my God, you have been persuaded so many times for so many things, right? It's not always big things in life, like spread of false belief is when you are persuaded. Attitudes around equality, like people are talking about feminism, gender equality, socioeconomic equality. All these are big views, and when you listen to people, you find out, oh, there is a good reason. I think now I believe. Like I was talking about not eating meat is one of these climate change skepticism. I hear so much about climate. I hear so much about killing of animals, and again and again I keep changing my attitudes. Although my behavior, remember I told you I just become vegetarian for a few weeks and then I again change. So in some or other way I am persuaded. Promoting healthier living. When you see people exercising, yoga, meditation, you get persuaded that you would like to follow the same lifestyle. Persuaded. We are persuaded in so many different ways every day in our lives, right? And you would see in this unit that why is this such an important unit in social psychology. Now, what are different paths of persuasion? Do we get just persuaded by anything? No. Social psychology describes basically two paths to persuasion, and the first path is called central route to persuasion, right? So there are two. One is central routes to persuasion, and what does it mean? It occurs when interested people focus on argument and respond favorably. Now, what is the meaning of arguments? When you listen to certain numbers, statistics, right? Some kind of facts that will force you to think about something. That's called central route to persuasion. I will elaborate it more in a while and you will just see, oh, okay, fine, that's the difference. I think you need to see um, the, um, the, the peripheral route to persuasion, but central route to persuasion when somebody is trying to change your attitudes and belief by giving you facts, by making you think about right and wrong. Can you give me any example of that kind of persuasion? For example, I told you just before the class that we should all go and exercise. That's one of my examples. Can anybody share one more example of persuasion through central route by giving you arguments, right and wrong, and facts and statistics, telling you some scientific evidence, and trying to change your minds, trying to change your beliefs, your attitudes, and your behaviors? Any one example?
You should not smoke.
You should not smoke. Thank you. Nancy can read my mind. I'm sure I've not shared my slides with you, right? So, thank you, Nancy. I just made these slides last night. So, anti-smoking campaign. It is going to show you the statistics of people who die every year of smoking. It might also show you pictures of people who smoked and all the physical damage or health damage they have suffered. TV advertisements showing some kind of laboratory findings to demonstrate the effectiveness of some kind of treatment. Like if you take this medicine or you undergo that process, this is what's going to happen to you. In that case, you're listening to the numbers and statistics. So that's a wonderful example of central route to persuasion. Thank you, Nancy. The second route is called peripheral. I don't know if you're any Chinese translation of periphery. Periphery is something around you, not right on spot, but around you. Peripheral route to persuasion. And this is the most common method that people, companies, organizations, even universities, anywhere, people use this route to persuade you. And which is this route? They're going to show you a pretty model, or they're going to show you Jay Chow telling you something. Your focus is not on Oreo. You're not thinking about Oreo is sweet, what are the health, the challenges, the weaknesses, or the bad things about eating a lot of sugar. No, all you are focused on, Jay Chow, it's so handsome, right? He does that, I need to do that. So that's peripheral route to persuasion. you get persuaded in this route is not because of the statistics and the facts, but because of the emotions that you feel after watching that kind of message, right? Attractiveness of the person, the speaker who's telling you the message. So it focuses, it triggers automatic acceptance without thinking. Remember, heuristics are the shortcuts, the short judgment. You look at something and then you just think, oh my god, I need to do that, right? So this is peripheral route persuasion. I am not asking you examples because we just saw Jay Chow, right? Okay, this is another example of peripheral route to persuasion, right? Because a very pretty model is selling Coca-Cola. I don't care how much sugar is in Coca-Cola. You just get, triggered. Your positive emotions get triggered and you are persuaded to buy Coca-Cola or you begin to like Coca-Cola. My quick question again, 30 seconds within your group. I'm not asking you because we are short of time. I'm not asking you to go on Padlets and write your responses. 30 seconds, discuss. If you were to choose one way to persuade people, which one will you choose and why? 30 seconds. I'm going to count 30 inside my in my heart, and then I'm going to ask you. Which persuasion method did you use and why? Group-wise, 5 groups. I'm going to go group-wise. All right. Yes. Which group would like to go first? There is no right and wrong answer. It is your belief which route to persuasion. Let's say you are a CEO of a company. How would you like to persuade people to buy your product? Anybody? Volunteers? Which group would volunteers? I know there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I see Esther raising her hand. Yes. No. Sorry. I'm very sorry. I keep calling you Esther. Okay. Fiamma, yes.
I think most of us will choose the central route, central route. Yes.
To persuasion.
Yes, but actually, we are all sometimes we are controlled by the what is that? The
Peripheral?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But you would use central route to persuasion?
Yes.
Yes.
But I think at the first time, if that product interests me by the
Peripheral?
yes,
Okay.
and then I will interested in that product, and then I will use my rational mind to evaluate. That is the central route.
Great. Are you psychology major? No. You're communication. Okay. Any more answers? Nancy?
I think it depends on whether your target audience is interested in your product. If he or she is already interested in your product, then you don't have to use some other things to arouse their attention. You can just talk about some basic statistics and some research about your product. But if he or she is not interested at all, then you can use some peripheral route to arouse their attention first and then to persuade them to buy your products.
Okay. I must say I'm simply impressed by your answers, and I also know both of you are communication major. Perfect. Wonderful answers. Excellent. Any other psychology major would like to share your insights? Ken?
Our group will think. There is one thing in Chinese called 想之以行动之以理, and that means you must affect your clients or the one you want to persuade that by emotional or something else, we call it punchline, and to get their attention.
Okay.
And then you will use the facts to ensure their choice.
Oh, excellent. I think very similar. Yeah, I think Chinese people are like well-known business people in the world. So you guys have the best persuasion techniques. This is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for your answers there. I think people from communication, you also have studied maybe effective persuasion techniques.
Yes, we have
Yes.
the class about the
You have the persuasion, yes. And it's super interesting. Why? Because even though we are aware that some external stimuli are going to change our attitudes and behavior, but how many times you guys can resist and not get persuaded? Do you guys have knowledge of persuasion, communication people? Are you able to save yourself, safeguard yourself from advertising? Do you believe in advertising? Like, did anyone watch last night in Oscars? Will Smith, he punched. Now, people from communication, do you think it is real or it is staged? Last night's incident. Okay, it's changing. It did bring some change of belief and you got persuaded, but I don't know what, they were not trying to sell something, but there was something happening in that incident, right? But everybody, I mean, I may be wrong, but most of us, 99%, believe that it was very natural. But I would question it a little bit. We are not going into that, oh my God, Oscar, and can someone do that? Right? So basically, we can't, no matter how much informed we are, aware we are, it is very difficult sometimes to see between what is right and what's wrong. All right, so great here. Social psychology proposes that central route to persuasion is more effective, but I like the Chinese perspective, and I think if I have a company, I will do what you guys have suggested. I'm going to trigger the emotional response and get their attention, and then work on the central route of persuasion by giving them statistics, facts, and data. I also like what Nancy said, which we will quickly cover, that it also depends on you are advertising or you are persuading somebody, the characteristic of the listeners. If you think people are not going to pay more attention, you would definitely have to bring Jay Chou in and bring some light and music and beautiful imagery for people to get attracted. Perfect, thank you very much. I'm quickly going to share something with you guys. Okay, you can't see my screen on WeChat. Please go on your WeChat again as we are running short of time. I am going to share a document. Please quickly have a look at that message and take this Menti poll to tell me which message would you prefer. I've shared a document on WeChat. Please take 3 seconds to open it and read it. Can you all open the message? Yes, please go through it quickly, and after you've done that, I would like you to log in to Menti and let me know your opinion. Oh, you can't see my screen. Okay, it might take you a while. I keep reminding you, we are running short of time a little bit. Now, could you please go to menti.com. The code is 19437758. The question is, which message will make you attend your extra class? After you have read the message that I have sent you, in your WeChat? I already got one response. Please read the message that I have shared with you on WeChat. After you've read the message, I would like you to log in to menti.com. I've got 3 people telling me they will attend extra class reading message B, not message A. 6 people have said message B, thank you. 7 have said message B, and 9. Oh, so nobody would like to listen to message A. Perfect. 14. 16. Okay. Overwhelming majority. There is nobody among you who would like to listen to message A. So I don't need to explain why, right? Thank you. Those who have not yet responded, you can go and you can respond. Can I quickly hear from you why? Any responses? Everybody. Like, I stopped at 20 of you. Why would you like to listen to message B instead of message A? Is message B written with a lot of love and affection? No?
It's useful.
Message B is useful.
Yes, because it says if you attend this lecture, it will be useful for your study.
Message B says if you come and attend extra classes, it is going to contribute to your quiz score, right? What route of persuasion is that? It's central route to persuasion. Thank you. What else? Anything else that you observed between the messages that I had shared?
Message B provides incentive for the participants. It says these extra lectures are free and you can receive a certificate that you can have fun with your peers.
Thank you very much. When you are responding in this class, make sure you can go and give yourself a score, okay? So message B is also providing you some kind of incentive, right? Anything else did you notice in the messages?
It's not compulsive.
Okay, it is not sort of forcing you to do things, right? The language is more open. It makes you feel you have the autonomy to decide whether you would like to attend the class or not. Anything else?
First,
Yes?
message B involves more emotions. It says that we will be glad to see you, but the message A is more didactic.
Perfect. Okay, we'll be glad to see you in that class. There's one answer that I'm looking. You might tell me that.
First message is from Julia, and the second is from Professor.
Awesome. I was looking for that answer. Okay? Message first is sent by random Julia. Who's Julia? Not this Julia. Okay? It's from Julia, could be office assistant, or we do not know. But the second message is coming from your professor, right? So, those who have already done the elements of persuasion, so these are the important things that people would consider before they get persuaded. So what are those important things? One is communicator. Who is sending that message, right? Message. What is being said, right? In the example that I shared with you, now you know message A and message B. How is the message communicated? The tone, okay, the mode. And finally, who is listening to that message? We'll quickly go through each of this. So, I think, yeah, Professor, you answered, somebody answered, you answered, right? Yes. So, what are the factors that you would consider before you trust on certain message? So one important characteristic is the credibility of the person who is saying that message, right? And perhaps this is one reason that people would bring, popular people to come and tell you certain things. Okay, the example of Jay Chow was to connect with the young audiences, but sometimes you do have well-known professors and scholars come and tell you certain things so that people would believe who is saying. Especially people from psychology major, we talk about in research methods and experimental psychology. We always tell you bring your evidences from indexed journals, right? The value of trustworthy journals. So effects of source credibility, although they say that it diminishes over time, credible communicators are perceived as expert and trustworthy. Okay? Credibility is affected by perceived expertise, speaking style, and perceived trustworthiness. So what happens? Normally, you guys believe credibility comes with your qualification. If a professor is saying, she's saying it right, but we are wrong. Credibility also comes with the attractiveness of a person. Who is Jay Chow? Do you know his qualifications? Do you know which university did he go to? He endorses bubble tea. He endorses Oreo. But we tend to like what Jay Chow says because for some reason you trust him. You do not know anything about his credentials, right? But you tend to trust him, isn't it? A pretty girl coming and telling you something wrong still sounds more trustworthy than a not so pretty or unattractive girl coming and telling you something, isn't it? And this is what social psychology is, that this is how our brains are wired, that when you see a person, you see their attractiveness, you even see the style. The same message could be delivered in two different styles, and if somebody is attractive, the way they pass that message on to you is going to make lots of difference into your the degree of your persuasion, right? So here, attractiveness and liking have powerful influence. So you guys believe I'm going to trust only when my professor says, not when Julia says, not this Julia, the Julia in our hypothetical case that I shared with you. But do you guys know that you guys get affected with how attractive a person is? Did you think about it? How well dressed a person is, how nicely the person present himself or herself, and that's going to affect the degree of your persuasion, right? Attractiveness, the qualities that appeal to an audiences. Appealing communicators, my communication major would know that when you are sending across a message, some kind of facial expressions, right? The way you have to move your lips and your eyes and your communication, because that is going to persuade you. Now, do you guys realize you keep watching advertisements? How it keeps changing, right? You are in your lift in your apartment. How, like, you are in the lift for like how long? 5 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds. In China, I was surprised to see advertising in the lift. So there is people constantly trying to change, play with our minds and our thoughts. Okay, so we keep looking at things. Now, attractiveness does not only come through the physical attractiveness. It also comes from how attracted you are to a person in terms of how close they are, how well can you identify with that person. Okay, if China chose American models instead of Jay Chow, somebody else was selling you Oreo, the company would not see 20% rise within few weeks. Do you agree? Because you can identify with Jay Chow. If David Beckham came or somebody else you do not know, right, you won't be able to identify. And then Oreo doesn't make that sense as much as it makes sense when Jay Chow presents it to you. So attractiveness is not only the physical attractiveness, it's also your ability to identify with them. Okay? Look here. Did you know that? Kylie Jenner. I don't know how many of you know these American icons guys will be able to see that more clearly on my screen. 590 million she earns from fashion and retail. Can you imagine that? This is the reason big corporates, big companies would hire these well-known, pretty, attractive celebrities to endorse their products. Okay? What are they? Roger Federer is a sports person. I'm not sure. Kylie Jenner, does she sing or is a model? She's a model, right? Can you imagine Kylie Jenner telling people buy this and people buy? That's why the companies are paying her. Her worth is 590. These are the top 5 celebrities. You can go and see. Some are sports people and some of them are models and singers. And now you can say, hey, I took my persuasion class in social psychology and my communication. Nobody can persuade me. I am a well-informed citizen of this world. No, we are not. We do get persuaded and we do tend to listen to these people because that's how our minds work. All right, quickly coming back to this question. I know you will not be honest, okay? Who smokes? Do you know any of your friends or relatives who are chain smokers? Think about someone. You don't have to tell me. You might know somebody, right? I know a couple of people who smoke a lot. If I showed this picture, this advertisement, if you don't smoke, you're going to look like fit and healthy. Okay, let's assume you guys smoke. If you see this picture, are you going to quit smoking? Are you going to decide to quit smoking? You don't want to look so like handsome and fresh and healthy like this boy? No? Are you sure? My God, I would do that. I think I want to be fresh like him, not look old. Okay, if I showed you these pictures, would you stop smoking? Yes, of course. Okay, now this is also one of the techniques about how the message is presented to you. Now, in social psychology, I'm not sure of communication research, there are mixed evidences. Some people say, if you want to persuade me, don't show me negative images, fearful images. Show me something nice. But like in my class, most of you said, if we were shown this picture, we will not be, motivated to not to smoke. Because, the good thing. So, remember the first advertisement that I showed you? The central purpose of that advertisement was to trigger positive emotions, to make you feel eat Oreos. But, if the similar case, isn't this boy triggering good emotions in you? Yes, but you are not ready to go and think about quitting smoking. On the other hand, if I show you something fearful, which focuses on self-concern, okay, they are framed in a negative way, which are going to make you worry about yourself, you are more likely to adopt, for example, this. I think it also, so that's the reason there are mixed results, because it depends on individual's personality. I don't like to be persuaded by something negative. I am more persuaded when I feel positive about doing something, right? So maybe I would not want to see that advertising or change my belief. Another thing is what is being said, right? This is the example, that the picture that we saw. Choice of reason or emotion in persuasion depends on the audiences. Okay, what is your education level? What's your motivation? Are you interested or not interested? Would depend. So, how do you want to frame your messages? It depends on, as you said, who are your audiences. even what is your product. I am not sure if you have seen a few advertisements about oil. So the wife comes running and she hugs her husband. She listens to the heart of her husband. Oh my God, my husband's heart should be beating well, right? Because he's the breadwinner. Hey, I cook my food with this oil. So, as you said, you guys said in the beginning that we like to trigger emotions. Now, emotions could be worrying emotions or could be positive emotions. So in this case, the wife and husband looks like a beautiful family, and suddenly she shows concern about her husband's health. And you guys, young girls, we can identify with that lady and love for our husband and the concern for our husband's health. And that advertisement follows with the statistics, like how many billion people in the world die of heart attack, and how does, the fats in particular oil would cause blockage in your heart and people suffer heart attack. So it's a series of positive emotions and negative emotions and central route to persuasion. And this is how, that's why, anybody interested, Julia, you were talking about joining a corporate after having psychology knowledge. You guys can contribute a lot in designing appropriate advertisements. How to get into people's mind, how to control their emotions and make them do what you would like them to do. Another thing is, how are things being said? What channel do you use? Now, if you guys remember in your grandparents' time, the maximum people would do is the radio or TV, or normally the commercials are on newspapers and all. Now what happened, you had a choice. If you picked up a newspaper and there is an advertisement you're not interested, you will not read. But did you notice what has happened now? Earlier you were driving and you would see the billboards, and they are saying something, right? Now it is multimedia. It has voice, it has colors, and it changes, isn't it? Now you have interactive advertising on the airport, on bus stations. I was talking about the lift. It takes me like 4 seconds to come down. I watch different kinds of advertisement with noise and a girl coming and going, and I can even touch and interact with that kind of advertising. So advertising is becoming more and more and more powerful these days. I read a joke. I don't know you guys go on YouTube or not. There's this young boy and he says, I want to be as rich so my children can watch a YouTube video without an advertisement being played. Because you have to pay extra for the version where there will be no advertising. So like my son, he keeps listening to music and he gets annoyed. Oh my God, advertisement again. So they keep playing those advertising. So what is the channel of communication? The final is here is what Nancy had mentioned in the beginning. Who are you talking to? What is the age of your audiences? So if your audiences are young, definitely you would like to go through peripheral route of persuasion, and age is an important factor, and thoughtfulness. A lot of research in social psychology says old people are very difficult to move, to change their ideas, because they have a very, very strong opinion about certain things. And that is when persuasion about something becomes very, very difficult. If you go and talk to your grandparents in Chinese context, maybe your grandfather, you talk about LGBT, you talk about feminism, some people will not agree. Okay, so persuading those people is a difficult task. So you need to people who would like to persuade them would like to design their persuasion technique very, very strategically. So degree of thoughtfulness, a lot of people sometimes don't want to think, right? What is the audience thinking? The persuasions, some techniques that need a lot of cognition, a lot of thinking, okay? You need to see, okay, these people are not going to pay attention, oh my God, I'm going to say something, but this needs a lot of cognition, and that is the time when you use a lot of videos and advertising and funny things. All right, I'm going to quickly stop here, and I don't want to go to my next slide. I want to ask you, I had shared my readings with you guys, remember? Right? Did you read that? Okay, fine. I would like just one example. The one that I gave you to read was these techniques, right? Foot in the door phenomena and low ball technique and door in the face phenomena, right? Now I thought I will do an activity, but we are almost going to finish. So I would again invite your verbal contribution with one example of foot in the door phenomena. The paper that I've given you has beautiful examples. Would you like to share any one example or anything that you have used in your real life? Foot in the door phenomena. Actually, we all use those things. Students use that with professors quite a lot. Any example that you can think of? Foot in the door phenomena, you know what it is when you've read? Okay, if you cannot share any example from your personal life, share with what you had read. Professor, would you like to be my referee? Okay, I will. Professor, would you like to come with me to that interview and give a verbal testimony of my performance in your class? Have you ever done that with professor? I had a few students who will ask little favor, and the moment you say yes, they will give you a very big favor to do. Okay? Any other example that you can tell me? Yes, please. Thank you, Gwen.
Free trails in the supermarket.
Excellent. Please come and eat. And after, it's nice. Okay. They're going to give, please buy. And then you had it for free, and now you said, I don't want to buy it, doesn't look good. Thank you. I would just like to hear quickly, door in the face technique example. Okay.
How we count the price. So
How we?
count the price. So
Okay.
The original price of the goods is 100 yuan, and we may firstly we may say 50 yuan, and then the price will increases.
Yes. They keep doing that all the time when you are doing your transaction online. You're buying certain things online, right? So a quick review: when you ask people for small thing and they agree, then you do it big one. The door in the face technique is you make a big request, and if somebody turns it down, and then you are like, at least you can do this for me. Then the guilt in your heart, oh, I could not agree to the bigger request, I better agree to the smaller request. A lot of people do that. I think another great example is also, you don't have a job and you would like to, you are applying in a company and they says, oh no, there's no place, and you say, can I just come and work for free? Yes? And once you go in there, you try and make space for yourself for bigger opportunity. I see some of you are closing your laptop. Don't close it. I just need 3 minutes. Quickly. Let me see how well you've done that. Okay? Can we, oh, you can't see that? That's great. Please, don't turn off your laptops. Go to your, just 2 minutes and I'll let you go. While it is loading, I want you to play just 5 questions. They're 5 seconds long. You will be done in 1 minute. Got it? Okay? Classic mode. Start. Guys, if you have any questions about your quiz, I'm always on WeChat. You can email me. There is nothing. All you have to do is go through your slides. Now, This is not coming. This will not be part of your midterms, but you will have to go through these slides for your final exam. I just see A entering. The game pin is 39210. Each question is 5 seconds. I've got 5 questions, 25 seconds. You will leave in 3 minutes if you all log in on time. Thank you. So two routes to persuasion, okay, and the 5 components that determine the degree of your persuasion. I like the funny name here, Yona. All right, please guys keep coming. I'm just waiting 20. I've got 5 more people. I like the burger. I like the Chinese character. I don't know what does it say. And J21. 4 more people. Please keep coming. Let's get started. And this is another insight how well you are doing and how much you need to work. Ta-da! Okay. All right. Peripheral group focuses on your thoughts, your behaviors, your mood. What did you feel in the beginning? Right? Jay, Chow. Right? Okay. True and false. Easy. Tomorrow, on Thursday, you're going to have lots of true and false questions. Okay, 10 people. Very few people are able to respond. Okay. It is easy to get persuaded if you can identify with the speaker. Please, please. Thank you. You were listening to me, and that's easy. Can we clap for the last question? The tendency for people who have first agreed to small request and later with a large request. Watch that technique. Small request and then the larger request later on. We have 2 examples Hannah had shared. Yes? 21 answers? Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Just need to pay a little bit more attention. Thank you very much. Just let's see who's the winner. Podium, podium, podium. maybe
check in to refresh it.
oh yeah, perfect.
Got it.
Good. Thank you. Let me check on my
Okay.
yeah. So any questions? Just ask me. Okay.
I need to revise what it is.
Look at my stomach. I hold in my pants without losing dignity.
Bye.
Bye bye. See ya then.
Hi, Nikki.
Yes.
Harriet has some questions and she's waiting for it.
Yes. I will take 5 minutes break and come.
Yeah, and I wonder, can I make you an appointment tomorrow about maybe 11:30?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
because
you.
today I have somebody coming, but just come over, no problem.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Tell Harriet I'll be there.